calling for.
Should we use Quell for something?
Let's see here.
He's available, and I'm pretty sure he's like pretty decent. At
how did we have those military positions on the council assigned?
Let's see.
I don't want to pull up the spreadsheet right now.
I can't actually find the link to the spreadsheet.
You have Rae'nkalar as the general. You have Zyn as the marshal.
Tarlin as warden.
Tarl as the warden, which means there are not too many military positions open, as it were.
I thought not.
There is a royal assassin. You can also appoint more, like a secondary position to someone. There is secondary positions in the house rules, like Hand of the King, things like that. Basically, where you found the master builder stuff.
I mean, thinking about it, who would make, because the warden is kind of, based on how the warden would be, Qual would really fit that better than Tarnan, for example.
You don't know that.
Tarlin might as well have that position.
Well,
he kept Festival safe. I
meant more from roleplay perspective than just plain stats.
You don't know
Tarlin
that either.
kept Festival safe. He can be a good warden. He's like police guy. That's fine.
I would say Qual, if anything, could continue to oversee the rulership of Vothis, even though Alauneari is going to be right here. Not like an heir, but sort of governor type situation. Since he's the one who handles the soldiers on a regular basis. I mean, even though you're here.
Would that make sense, Jonas? Could we have a governor of a city even though we are there?
Well, the capital itself is usually controlled by the council. Let's take a look in the... let's take a quick look in the house rules. We have the leadership. Oh, come on, work. Oh, leadership. Let's see here. Yeah, usually where the capital is, the council has direct control, so you don't really need any steward as such. If you wish some sort of council position for him, then maybe some of the optional positions they're open. The things that are open on the Grand Council as such is basically Royal Assassin and Magister. Those are the vacant one. From the optional ones, you could go for something like King's Hand, or also called Steward or Master of the Royal Household. High Justicar is a position, and the heir. Although I don't think you want to make him an heir.
Probably not.
I begin sending him to school.
Yeah,
you have to go to fighting school.
You're now a consort, and
Tarlin will train you in fighting.
I mean, I guess you can make Tether Qual the Royal Enforcer. He certainly seems to fit into that type of mold.
You're thinking the assassin or the Justicar?
I don't know enough about those off the top of my head.
And the High Justicar is Master of Justice. He serves as the chief judge of the realm and is charged with ensuring the administration of the law. He increases kingdom stability based on his wisdom. Yep. And the Royal Assassin is public executioner or headsman of shadowy assassin, strong arm.
We're probably doing a Royal Assassin then, as sort of an executioner, big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of that sort of thing. Yeah, that seems fine. You can make him Royal Assassin.
That doesn't really seem to fit the billing for him.
No. Think you'd refuse the job?
I don't think he would refuse the job. He's not that suicidal.
What's wrong with Justica for Qual? And Assassin for
That's
Gorbel,
like a
for
judge.
example? Yeah.
You know, Tether Qual
Yes.
certainly has the respect to administrate rulings. It's just, I don't know how presumptuous you want to get. It's like putting a governor here. I mean, we only have, like, what, fucking Fastervolt and Vathis. It's not like he has an entire realm of hamlets and villages to patrol here.
No, it really doesn't.
Nah. He has yet to prove ourselves to us anyway. We can think about it later. Like during the downtime.
Sure.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, alright, so Qual is invited or is he not invited?
We can invite him to listen in for the time being.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll stand over here. Gorval shows up. Tarlin definitely shows up. Zyn is hiding somewhere.
Zyn is near the gunnels. I
It
assume
isn't-
someone would have gotten him, I guess.
Of course.
He isn't really actively hiding.
We have people for that now.
Well, he's always actively hiding, but
He never wants to be here. And someone finds Rilinid, probably hiding somewhere as well.
Angrily hurting Shell.
Yep. was the spiteful.
For everyone at home, Rilinid is a bad person. It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, he'll attend. Sort of slide on the mask so that he can fume behind it privately.
I assume we'll have chairs brought up for people.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone just sort of stands around the table.
Rilinid will sit next to Tarlin, have a little bit of space.
Sure.
Yeah, the first council is then called.
I suppose the first thing that is done is the introductions. You know, as to who we foresee having what position and or what domain of work.
Yeah. There's a little bit of sort of discussion around this. You said Gorwald, we wanted him to be
Master
of
of
the
the
Lash.
Lash, yes.
Master of the Lash, yeah. Yeah. He seems to consider this, and like a wicked smile plays across his face. And he will say, "It would be my great pleasure to hear the wails of complaint from the populace."
And suddenly unrest vanishes because no one wants to fucking complain, right?
Exactly.
It's like the same problem we have with Lawless, right? No one wants to complain, the end.
Yes, the wails of complaint. Let's see, Tarlin for Warden.
Yes. Should he find the position dissatisfactory, then by all means we could position him somewhere else. Perhaps he would like to be some sort of magister. Maybe he understands arcane lore.
He sadly does not.
Yeah.
He could become the assassin then if he wants to.
If protection and safety and solidarity of the Empire is the task he finds most unsuitable.
He seems to consider, and he will put forward that the position of royal assassin could be an interesting one. He has not per se done such work in the past, but he could be willing to try a little bit of new things. He is still somewhat insistent, although he puts it forward in a very well-spoken manner that even as an assassin, as the master of assassins, he would of course expect to have a voice on the council.
Sure.
Sure.
I will. No, I definitely see. I think that fits in better, really.
Yeah. And then Captain Tether Qual could be the warden.
Seeing as how he is so competent and capable and most suited to defense and has such a great hand with the guards.
Hmm. Yeah, Qual will nod and grimly accept the position as warden.
Good.
there isn't even any sort of insult or derogatory behind that at all. I mean, with the stone mask, who can tell, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Qual seems to have calmed down some.
Well, that's good.
And seems to have found himself in the sort of the realization of his position, and he will accept if someone puts forward him for warden.
I'll help him along.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right. If he has any trouble organizing any sort of defensive schemes or plans at all, he can by all means come ask me.
He will definitely keep that in mind. He ensures you.
I mean, after all, as just someone with my skills and talents, perhaps I can troubleshoot what he could not see, you know?
Find the weak link, as it were, in the chain.
I am an acquisitioner by trade, the only one of my kind, really.
Oh, well.
You know, a set of skills I've acquired over a long career.
Yes, no doubt.
Rilinid Neeson stars.
Yes. Taken away. Take me to the crown. Yes, and Tarlin seems somewhat inspired when he thinks of his position as the royal assassin.
Yeah.
Unless he can come up with a more suitable title. If he does not enjoy the master assassin. I mean, some of his position and intellect could certainly contrive a more imperious title, and for certainly Lord Tarlin, master assassin. I mean, that's all fine and well, but just as he had the leeway with Fastervold to come up with what he wanted, I can put his mind to it.
Yeah. Yeah, he can certainly, you know, he will consider, see if he can come up with something interesting for royal assassin. Rebrand it, as it were.
Similarly, you know, Lord Tether Qual, Warden of the Azathyr, might not be exciting for him. You know? But Lord Gorval Herrick, Master of the Lash, I think that's spot on.
That's pretty good. Tarlin, let's see. Yeah, Tarlin will rename then the position of Royal Assassin to First Sword.
Okay. That's right. Having people name themselves reveals so much insight into how they think. That makes Rae'nkalar second sword.
See what he did there?
Sure. We need the value for Gorval Herrick, by the way.
Yeah, well, let's see here. Master of Commons. Whoa, what's that? Is that? That is...
Wisdom or charisma.
Charisma.
Oh. Well, let's see what he has for charisma, shall we?
Probably a +1, maybe a +2 if we're lucky.
He's not a very wise man.
I'm sure he's very charismatic.
Well, you know, torturers usually are.
Yeah, that's true.
Wisdom or charisma?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a +1.
Alright. I figured, Drow normally get a bonus to their charisma, right?
Yep.
I figured it would be at least a +1.
He's as good at talking to people as Miku is at counting coin.
He's better than the gnome.
He's better than Lawless He Who Liberates, and that's what matters.
He sure is. Then, as the warden and one of the council members, then Tether Qual will basically call the attention of the council and say that he has in his hand the ledgers for the different resources the kingdom currently have. This is accounted for the supplies as well as the workforce of the Kobold slave camp below.
Alright. A very interesting look for Rilinid.
Indeed. Let's see here.
He loves ledgers.
I'm sure he does. Let's see here.
He also loves working drawbridges. And long walks in the Oh.
Oh.
Having long walks
well.
in the beach. Damn it. We need a beach. The Bardic College must have a beach. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So then we go. Oh, where's this? Don't do this to me now.
Don't do this to me now. Don't you leave me.
Oh, yes. Important documents. So many pages, you know. You thought like that would be easy to find. No.
No.
Hmm.
Convenience in this day and age? Less likely than you think.
Let's search. Stores. So that is. Yep. It seems that the stores of Vothus currently holds what would amount to 40 BP of materials.
I imagine that comes from the fact that the caravan arrived just a short time ago.
Yeah.
And filled the stock. So 40 BP is a definitely greater than the rough estimate, which I was pitched. That's a lot more to work with.
This also accounts for the kobold slave labor down below.
I know, this changes all of the plans and the projections and everything, Manaki, right?
This changes everything.
So currently, you have 60 BP in the Kingdom Treasury.
We got 20 from Faster Vault and 40 now from Vothus.
Yeah.
We won't starve, Manaki.
Not for a little longer, yeah.
Not for a little longer.
Yeah. Everyone seems to consider sort of looking down at the maps and basically like, oh yeah, this one needs some thinking.
Number crunching.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Oh, shit, Manaki.
And Tarlan will say, then I suggest, my lords, that we call together the full council as soon as possible. We need to discuss a lot of things, it seems.
Of course.
Sandor will have to be retrieved. He is a skilled and effective builder, and he can certainly assist in laying out the plans for diminishing the unrest and discord within Vaster Vault. Gorval Herrick might be too effective at doing that, so we'll need a Sveer of Neblin to do it.
Gorhavik seems disappointed.
I know how good he is.
Exactly. Qual looks down on the basic map and says, we are at a precarious position then, it seems to me. Sort of points, the two areas we control are very far between. It sort of points at the Dark Road. The Dark Road is a great boon to us. This is something we already have seminal control over. The entrances are guarded by secret entrances, and they are generally free from monsters. This could be considered a safe road, given minimal patrols.
As frustrating as it may be, it is becoming clear that in order to effectively join these two distant settlements, it will be necessary to go through the fungal jungle instead. While the Dark Road is sufficient, it is not very wide, and for Vothus to prosper, it cannot be relied upon. Certainly we would wish to keep it a secret, in case it ever became necessary.
Qual nods. Yes, I suppose that is prudent reasoning. It was used for more secretive drown patrols and not used for trade routes, really. He looks at the map. Then you did hint before that, well, you had allied with the Ixan. Looks at the map. Transportation of supplies, etc., must be then made through their territory if we are to effectively link through the jungle.
It will have to be done, yes. As a matter of fact, continuing to grow and expand until we can properly connect these two settlements will have to be done through there, yes. There is no room in these tunnels for any sort of means to prosper or expand, particularly if we are to attract more individuals to join, possible outcasts from Tarisia, or caravans passing through in their ilk. In particular, for the time being, it will become necessary to entertain the utility of the non-drow. In particular, the Zyn and Skisrol will have to remain appeased for an indeterminate amount of time at this point, and hopefully they will not overly mind the encroachment upon neutral ground, sort of jabbing a gloved finger in the northwest, a land they have neither claimed, which will be logged or cleared or some manner or another.
Qual nods slowly. The rest of Tarlin and Gorak seems to nod as well, and say, well, if we are dependent on the Ixan for now to keep it possible to connect our different settlements, then yes, appeasing them seems, although a little bit unseemly to me, seems to be the most prudent course of action.
We are in desperate times. The city of Tarisia, powerful as it is, does remain distant from the time being, but eventually word will be had in one form or fashion that something has taken place, and all who have thrown their lot in with this council have already taken that into consideration, and at some point those distant noble lords may stop their infighting and might look once again upon the bastion of Vothis.
Yeah, Tarlin nods. Yes, that seems likely. Tarisia is still far away, and her eyes does not fall often to Vothis. With the trading caravan having just left, it seems to me that there will be quite some time before they return. News of the fall of Vothis, as it were, will take time to spread to the lower paths of the Asathir. This gives us an advantage in time, at least.
2 to 3 years, you might say, before caravans give the rumors, spread them through Tarisia?
Tarlin nods. That would be a rough estimate, but it seems correct to me.
Rilinid sighs for the mask. 2 to 3 years. As it stands, both Vothis and Fastervold are self-sufficient, but self-sufficiency is insufficient for our demands. 2 little settlements alone, even if they were riddled to the teeth with all sorts of armaments, could not stand against the might of any noble house in Tarisia, should it, for whatever reason, turn its mercurial eye and gain interest in this region once more.
Qual nods and says, it seems to me that the most pressing concern is to then build up and secure our borders and territories as much as possible. Perhaps even not appearing to be all that changed if any caravan should return.
It would be a great hope indeed, and it is a solid reason why your presence, Lord Tether Qual, Warden of the Upper Asathir, will be required, for the caravans will at the very least recognize you, and perhaps not the former Baroness. I'm sure she did not pay much attention in her degrading state.
Qual nods. Yes, she was rather preoccupied, usually. He scoffs. But yeah, I do believe if any trading caravans were to return within 2 to 3 years, if we can put up a smokescreen of normality, they should not report any grave changes right away. We did receive supplies, and if we use them to seemingly further the power of Vothos and his stature, perhaps they would even further good news back to Teresia.
A good idea. Such thinking, though, also pains me, for Fastervolt will have to be restored and kept in the same condition. The Gnome King, as distant as he might be, Fastervolt is renowned for its marble, and the Gnome King, I know little of him, might cast an eye towards it and send an army to ensure its security.
Tarlin seems to nod and agree. As well as Gorval, Harak. Tarlin will say, it seems then that this Gnome King, I know little of him as well, I must say. I have heard some talks of him in Fastervolt, but to the extent of his power, I cannot say. It would be very unfortunate to have an army marching up from Claddenvolt.
How much word do you think got back to him? How many caravans passed, if all of them uttered rumors that Drow were now in charge of Fastervolt?
Tarlin seems to consider I do not know. It seems unlikely that he is unaware that something has changed in Fastervolt at this point. But he seems to think, I do not know, Claddenvolt is quite some distance away. Perhaps if trade continues, again, as Qual suggested, a image of normality can perhaps placate, for a time at least.
Rilinid nods. It is as if Neblin will have to be kept out from under our heel for such a time as we could ensure that if whatever foreign power saw fit to enforce its will, we would have the strength and snarl to beat it back.
Qual and Tarlin seem to nod. Harak seems to think and look down on the map, slowly moving his well-manicured thin fingers through his hair.
See, I like this guy. How could I like this guy? To that end, the governorship for the council will be generously a month's distance from Fastervolt. Will have to end up being as Viv Neblin. I have honed one for the role. He is weak and power-hungry and will be suited for the task, but incompetent enough that should he actually get designs of becoming the next Lord Gurney, well, actually, he will become the next Lord Gurney.
Tarlin smiles wickedly, while Qual and Harak seems not really to get the joke.
He'll actually explain. Lord Gurney, the former Lord of Fastervolt, was tied up to a post in the pavilion of Fastervolt, where after I whipped the crowd into a frenzy, the new upcoming governor of Fastervolt stabbed a dagger into the old Lord of Fastervolt's chest.
Harak smiles at this, looks at Rilinid. Ah, you were always such a skilled manipulator, Rilinid. How delightful.
No flattery at the council table.
Yeah, he grins and looks down at the map again.
At any rate, it does pain me, just as how we must remain cordial as if we were on equal terms with the Zadin Skisror for Ferret. We are the weaker. And Our actions in an attempt to gain strength have, in effect, bound the two more closely together. Turning them against each other would take considerable time and effort, and we cannot afford further instability at this time. There is already enough unrest with the thought of drow lording over others, and the credibility of our kind has been diminished by the actions of our ancestors.
Arak seems to put his fingers together. Looking down on the map, we have resources. It shouldn't be impossible to reach the jungle and carve out some areas for food and other resources if we truly are to expand. So looks down, then yes, I think as well we must reach the jungle and claim territories. Looks around. If you intend to make Vothas the seat of government, so looks around, it is sparsely appointed, as you can see. Do you intend to expand?
Further renovations will be required, yes. The primary concern, as I've studied the ledgers, is while we have a great wealth of resources at our disposal, and the two settlements currently remain sufficient at this time, reliable expansion will require mercenaries, will require constant patrols to weed out predators, and ensure that no other force encroaches upon us. In essence, by attempting to expand to become more secure, we threaten destabilizing ourselves. However, in the face of Teresia, it must be done.
Qual will say, space is a premium here in Vothas. We can, of course, clear out rubble and dig into the bedrock for more space. Such thing could cost more, though.
Rilinid shakes his head. No, it will be better for us to make our way to the fungal jungle. What structures we can be built here will be built here in due time, but it is rather... Why create steads to feed a populace here in this gravel and dirt, when instead it could be made in the verdant lushness of a jungle?
Yeah, he nods. Yes, clearly.
To that effect, it will become necessary to appease those who are currently stronger than us, and to that effect, I shall assume that role upon myself. I am the most capable, and perhaps the most willing in learning the cultures of others, and I can, in some effect, work them to ensure that we will make as minimal of an impact as we can upon the jungle, until such time as we feel confident we no longer need them.